Hey, yo, King Fight News. Back at it. And I want to speak on this because Freddie Roach, you know, as much as he's known for basically careful selection for Manny Pacquiao's fights, he's basically Manny Pacquiao's matchmaker. He sees the style matchups very well. And he knows what's a winnable fight for his fighter. You know, Pacquiao, he saw Jeff Horn as a winnable fight, and I think a lot of us did. But at the same time, a lot of us didn't really know who Jeff Horn was. And we got a good look at him in that Pacquiao fight. We saw heart, we saw determination, we saw the willpower to walk Manny Pacquiao down, and we hadn't seen that in any other of Manny Pacquiao's opponents in recent memory. Now, it's interesting because Jeff Horn is now going to be facing Terrence Crawford, who Freddie Roach doesn't want any piece of that fight. He doesn't want no smoke with Terrence Crawford. He's like, nope, doesn't want any part in no Terrence Crawford fight. What Freddie Roach is looking at, he's looking at Lomachenko, and he's saying, hey, that boy is sweet. Let me get some of that two-time gold medalist at 135. Let me get that Lomachenko fight, you know? Let me get that fight. And, of course, Bob Arum's like, hey, you want to fight Lomachenko? Manny Pacquiao's like, yeah, I want to fight Lomachenko. so, of course, Bob Arum's going to be, hey, you know, Loma, what do you think about the fight? Loma doesn't give a shit. He'll take the fight. But his handlers and his managers see that as too big of a weight jump. Now, what's interesting is, you know, right now they're probably doing some negotiating. They're trying to finagle their way into this fight because Arum, shout out to Fenon International Boxing. He did an excellent video with some research on the ESPN deal with Top Rank. Now just bear with me for a second. That ESPN deal is basically a break-even deal for Top Rank, basically, and whatever, they'll probably pocket the advertising revenue, who knows, or maybe that goes to ESPN. I'm not too sure about the specifics, but from what I understand, it's a break-even deal. And the problem with that is, for Top Rank to really have skin in the game and get some big money out of it, they're going to have to do what Bob Arum is talking about right now, is a pay-per-view, a couple pay-per-views. And obviously, they need to have pay-per-view worthy main events. And that's where Manny Pacquiao comes in, because he's the only pay-per-view star that Bob Arum has. So he needs Manny Pacquiao to fight some of his younger guys and hopefully lose, so it'll raise that stock of some of his younger talent, right? Lomachenko, Crawford, basically those two guys, these are the top 2 pound-for-pound guys recognized in the sport right now. And what's interesting to me is Freddie Roach had already explained how he plans on beating Lomachenko. He's got the blueprint. Freddie Roach has it. So let me quote Freddie Roach right here. Let me pull up his words on how to beat Lomachenko. Shout out to Boxing Scene. Freddie Roach sees winnable fight. Pacquiao can beat Lomachenko. Let's see what he has to say. Yes, he feels Pacquiao can beat Lomachenko, but the thing is, we need a real good training camp, and we need to get him out of this senator job. Manny, he told Manny, this is too tough of a sport to have another job. You know, you gotta be at this shit full time. You're not gonna beat Lomachenko as a senator. Ain't no senator of the Philippines beating a 2-time gold medalist, no matter what the weight is. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So you take that game away from it. So Freddie Roach is talking about, you need to concentrate and be really, really prepared for this fight. Extremely prepared. And you have to be aggressive in the fight. We have not seen aggressive Manny Pacquiao in quite some time either. You know, we've seen this half boxer, half puncher Manny Pacquiao. The guy that fought Tim Bradley, you know, the guy that fought Jeff Horn was sort of half boxing, half aggressive. You know, he came on really strong in the 9th round, but then he didn't follow up that momentum in the 10th. You know, if that was the young Manny Pacquiao, he would have gone after Jeff Horn and knocked him out in the 10th round, guaranteed. Guaranteed. If that was young Manny Pacquiao, he would not have let Jeff Horn survive. When he was that badly hurt in the 9th, he would have got him out of there. And that's the difference between Manny Pacquiao. You know, the Manny Pacquiao you see right now is not hungry, and he's not as vicious. You know, he's lost part of himself in that ring. You know, he has. You know, that's the thing about boxing. Every fight you have, a piece of you is left in that ring. You know, a piece of you remains there. And it's this weird spiritual shit that you'll never get back. And after so many fights, you know, you can only go through so much attrition and fucking heart and willpower. There's only so much you can give in the ring before you've given too much. And you know, Manny Pacquiao, I don't know if he's really cut out for this shit anymore. Who knows? You know, it's different when you got those silk pajamas. It's different. You know, it's just different. But yeah, Freddie Roach is saying you gotta concentrate and be really prepared for the fight. And you gotta be aggressive because Lomachenko does have great footwork. But if you press him hard, if you press Lomachenko hard enough, you take that away from him. That's what Orlando Salido did. He took away that excellent foot movement. And imagine, Manny Pacquiao is no slouch when it comes to foot movement. He has some of the best foot movement in boxing, even today. You know, if his legs are 100%, he's not cramping up, his foot movement is top notch, right? Absolutely. Now, you know, I don't want to call the dude old man, but I think he still has it in him for one more great effort. But I agree with Freddie Roach, he needs a tune-up fight. He absolutely needs a tune-up fight, and it's got to be against someone lighter and just as fast with good foot movement. You know, it's got to be someone like who's out there right now that can. It would be great if they can get a Jorge Linares to step up. Like, honestly, if they get Jorge Linares, that would be a good fight for Manny Pacquiao. Just as a tune-up. I'm telling you, as a tune-up. Who else is out there for Manny Pacquiao? At 140, is anyone really out there that can really test Manny Pacquiao, go punch for punch with him? I mean, fuck, maybe Mikey Garcia, but that's not a tune-up fight. Mikey Garcia ain't no tune-up for no one. Shit, maybe a Robert Easter. Robert Easter looked like shit in his last fight. Maybe a Robert Easter Jr.? Maybe? Who else is at 140? Man, that division's wide open right now. Some people were saying Constantine Panamara, the dude that ducked Earl Spence, maybe get him in line to fight Manny Pacquiao. I don't know. I don't know about the tune-up fight. But this is what Freddie Roach is saying. You take that game away from him, and he's beatable. And I already know he's looking at that Salido fight, and he's saying this is how you beat Lomachenko. That's how you beat him. You know, just take a look at that Salido fight. That'll tell you all you need to know. If you neutralize his foot movement, you keep him stationary, you bang to the body, and you outwork the man. That's how you beat Lomachenko. But the thing is, that was I'll say it because Lomachenko's a young guy, but that was a professionally inexperienced Lomachenko. And I'll tell you the difference. Because the Lomachenko that fought Rigondeaux, the second Rigondeaux tried to do some dirty shit, Lomachenko was there to sort of respond and impose his physicality on Rigondeaux. He didn't take it. He didn't take that. He didn't take any bullshit the way he got fouled against Orlando Salido. And I'll say that's his own fault. You know, if someone's fouling you and you don't retaliate, that's your own fault. Because you gotta draw the line somewhere. If the referee ain't doing shit, you gotta draw the line somewhere. And Lomachenko didn't want to do it on that night, and he ended up with a loss. So obviously he learned from that. He learned because Rigondeaux was trying to do a little something to him. He trying to hold him the head, trying to do a little something to get a big shot in. And Lomachenko wasn't having nothing. He wasn't having any of that. So I think Freddie Roach is on the right track. I think Freddie Roach really has an understanding on how to beat him. But I don't personally think Manny Pacquiao's that fighter anymore. And as much as you want to put this fight on pay-per-view, Lomachenko's got to be ready to go up to 140. And maybe he needs a tune-up fight too. Maybe he needs to be there with a big, strong puncher that can really test him. Because Manny Pacquiao's left hand is something, as Tim Bradley said, who can you have to prepare for that kind of a left-hand shot? It's a rocket left hand. He still has that fastball. So that's something that is going to give anybody difficulties. Regardless of the fight, he's going to give anyone difficulties. You have to have an extremely good defense and reflexes to deal with that left hand, which is what Lomachenko has. He has all those qualities. He just needs a quick southpaw in his training camp to really hone in on dealing with that sort of style. So E-King Fight News. What do you guys think? Freddie Roach explains how he would beat Lomachenko. What do you guys think about that? E-King Fight News, man. Smash the like button. Smash that like button. And subscribe to the channel. You know what it is. Peace out, guys.